All right, here I am with Chip at the South Florida Building Expo. Wow, what a topic are we going to go into, right? So, Chip and I have been talking very passionate right now, and I'm trying to understand how to mentor others. So, I'm thinking that that could be an interesting topic, right? To try to help people, be happy, right? So, what are some things that you can kind of help? Like, if you were to mentor me, if you were to mentor me and I tell you, I can never be happy, I would love for you to share how would you help me move in the next step in this.
Yeah, that abundant life. That's what we want, right? We all want that abundant life. And, we have businesses, we're here at an expo, um, and we're providing for our family. And so there's so many ways we can go. There's how's our business doing, and mentoring and helping our business improve. That's gonna help us. There's spiritual issues. How are we doing on that plane? Are we being joyful, or are we being happy? Like which is more important? We're taught to be happy, but
So let me share my personal challenge, okay? Because he wants to know my personal challenge.
yeah,
I can't
what's his
believe
personal?
somebody actually wants to know what my personal issues are. So I'm challenged behind looking for perfection. Because when I was in sports, because when I was in it, they always told you you can get better, you can figure things out, and you should never, kind of say, okay, enough is enough, right? So
Yeah.
how do I get out of that pigeonhole that says, look, this should be good enough, and let me enjoy the moment. Help me.
Oh, if I could
I
do that,
put it
I'm
out
going to
there, guys.
charge him about $1 million
$1 million.
for this
I
answer.
don't know
No,
about
but
this.
no, that's such a good question. That's just such a thing. I was in sports too. I was a swimmer in college, and we're always that perfection, right? And when we're told, you know, I had someone ask me one time, "What's a godly man?" They just said, "What's that mean? What's a godly man?" And I'm like, "Well, a godly man, you've got to like do a bunch of stuff, man. You got to be perfect. You gotta like help the poor, and you got to do this, and you got to do that." And of course, who can do that? We all fail, right? We all fail at that, and then we're like, forget all that religion stuff. And really, we should. It's really, instead of religion, it's relationship. And I think the definition of a godly man is it's who we are in God, instead of all the do. It's like it's who we are. It's our identity in God. And once we understand that we're not perfect, He is, all of a sudden we don't have to be perfect anymore. We don't have to be perfect anymore.
And guys, and I don't know how the community feels about that, but it's tough, man. It's draining. It overwhelms you, right? You
We've been taught as men, right? We've been taught.
yeah.
That's why we need mentors. We need mentors for business. We need mentors in our spiritual life, because we've been taught do. We're men, like do, and even women like do. All that. Here's the list. If you don't do this, you're out. How can we possibly live up to that? It causes stress. Talk about, you want to be happy. That was the question. How can you possibly happy with all this stress? And some of us have children that maybe aren't perfect, right? So you got the kid. Well, how I can't be a follower of Jesus because my kid is wayward, and they told me, if my kid isn't perfect, how can I? And I think we just get taught all these wrong things. That's why we need men. We need mentors to come alongside us and help us in each aspect of our life, man. We need each other. It's about community.
And that's another challenge that we have as men, the vulnerability that we lack.
Oh,
And actually, we have to posture in a certain way. We have to showcase that we don't, we don't have emotions, right? We
see,
don't have feelings because we're very strong in our decisions because we're men, right? So I
yes,
think I love the mentoring part of it, guys, and I love the
yeah,
ability that people are out there, guys, that are willing to help, from a business perspective, but also from a religious perspective, right? Kind of helping you kind of understand more of why we here, right? Because I think that's a big question that we all have.
yeah,
Like, what is our purpose here, right?
right.
So I know this is a very uncomfortable topic, but I really appreciate that someone's willing to kind of talk through that as educated people to kind of talk and learn and grow together. So Chip, again, I appreciate
Appreciate your time,
the
brother.
man you are. I appreciate
Yeah.
the conversations we're having. And this is the thing we got to continue to have. All right. Thank you very much.